About 3 years ago, I believe, is when I built this workbench, and as much as I loved how it turned out, clearly the bench has moved around as the wood has dried out. Now, 3 years later, the wood is completely dry, and I'm going to try and get this bench back to level and also create a smooth surface on top of the workbench to work from. Very shortly after finishing this bench, the wood twisted up and it didn't sit level, so I really didn't use it that much. I'm hoping, after fixing it, this changes things. Now, 3 years ago when I built this workbench, I built the workbench to last, and I'm hoping it outlasts me. If I had the chance to own a workbench that was made and used by my dad or my grandfather or even my great-grandfather, you better believe I would want to own that. To me, a workbench has the potential to be very personal. Even though I haven't used the workbench as much as I intended on using it, I still find myself sitting at the workbench, contemplating and thinking about everything that I have going on around here. You can see as the workbench dried out that it has about a 1-inch gap between the back corner wheel and the ground. All of this lumber came from a local sawmill that was green cut, and that's why the wood is twisted up so much. So now that I have all of the 2x8s re-secured and the surface is as close to level as I can get it, I'm going to hit it with 40 grit sandpaper and then 80 grit and then restain it and then put a poly coat on it, and then we should be back to normal.
Well, your foot's not hurting so bad now. Well, your foot's not hurting so bad now, is it? Let's go. Come on.
I don't want to sand all the saw marks out of the wood, but I need a flat surface to work on. And clearly I don't want the table to be perfect. I like that it's rough sawn lumber and I want it to be rustic. I'm going to install a couple of turnbuckles on the old table, and I'm going to see if I can twist things back into position. But what I might have to do is I might have to leave this thing out in a summer rainstorm a few times once I get the turnbuckles in place. The table doesn't need a whole lot to get level, so I welded the eyelets to make sure the chains don't pull through when I crank on the turnbuckles. Okay, now for a quick touch up with the stain to make it look like I was never here. Then again, I'm going to put a poly coat over the top of the table, and then I'm ready to start scratching it up all over again. Well, she's as good as new. And now that I've got the new and improved workbench back in place, it's time to get to a few projects.